How often do you spend time with yourself? Spend time alone in the quiet of your own environment, or on a walk, a hike, go to a park, sit down, just alone time, aloneness, not loneliness, but aloneness. How often do you give that to yourself? I'm thinking about that today on the mat because I recognize that many people are distracted. Many people find it hard to be still. And they wonder about the way of their lives. Sort of the confusion, the lack of clarity, the overwhelm, the angst, the anxiety. Yet they don't realize how they're constantly in motion, as if to stop is going to create chaos. To stop, to pause, to be is a path to clarity, a path to feeling how we feel, hearing our thoughts, accessing our inner world. It's important to spend time alone. And when we find like, oh no, I don't like to be alone, be with that. Maybe it's something you journal about. Maybe you go for a run or walk. You spend time with, what is it about being alone that makes me so uncomfortable? Why is that so difficult? What's underneath that? What am I afraid of? Because if we're unable to be with ourselves, that means that there's a lot of things that we've not reflected on. There's a lot of information that we don't have access to because we're not pausing to access it. And what happens is that has a ripple effect in our lives. The people with whom we spend our time, the relationships that we choose to enter into, it has a host of effects. The cause of distraction has a host of effects. And so then we don't get the peace that we deeply desire. We do not grow in comfort and connection with ourselves. We find ourselves constantly outsourcing everything, most everything. Because a lot of our ability to insource what is ours, to access it from within and hold it and be with it, requires that we spend time alone. And one might say, oh, I don't have time to spend time alone. I have children, I have 3 dogs, I have to attend to this, I'm a caregiver. Responsibilities will always be there. Life will life. But if we do not take the 5-10 minutes before you step out of bed and go into action, pause. Spend some time with yourself. Because when we don't, we meet those responsibilities differently. We meet them with anger, resentment, frustration, irritability, overwhelm. We start our days overwhelmed. We haven't been awake 4 minutes. And it's like, oh my God, this day, all these things that I must do. Pause. If you know that your day is going to be nonstop, before you start the nonstop, sit down. Be. At the end of your day, reflect. Set a timer, 5 minutes. Well, that's not enough. It's more than you gave it any day before. No excuses. Because we can find excuses for anything. We can. But how does that benefit us? How does leading with overwhelm benefit you? How does moving through your day with a level of irritability all day, and it's not an aberration, it's a consistency, how is that serving you and your well-being? How is that enhancing the inner workings of your body, your system, your immune system, your health? So today on the mat, I want to encourage you to spend time alone, Little by little, if it's really hard, little by little, be safe. Be sure to take care and recognize that time with yourself is not going to damage you unless you're going to damage yourself. It's just you hanging out with you. It's you looking yourself in the mirror like, hey, I like spending time with you today. Self, you're pretty all right. We had a good time watching that foreign film. We had a nice time cooking that dinner for ourselves. To the self, right? It was so nice to take that nap alone in the quiet together with myself. It's been so long since I've read a book. I was able to read an entire chapter because I set a timer and I put a do not disturb sign. I set boundaries so that I could have this alone time to get to know myself, to grow and to expand, to be in the calm. It's very underrated, spending time alone. And yet the great masters, the best psychologists, all of the people know in our aloneness is where we come to know what is and what isn't. When we're constantly distracted, we don't have time to understand, to investigate, to see. And so we just make decisions from distractions. We stay in things longer because we never pause to reflect on how we were supposed to get out of that a long time ago. Or maybe there's some deep level sadness that we never accessed because we just kept on moving. We just kept on going. Then when we pause, we feel, like the container is overflowing because there's so much to sit with. That's why I don't sit with it. There's so much. But sit with it. If you take the lid off and you see a lot in your life, take one thing out and move it over and just look at that one thing and be with that. Now you're done with that. Then you bring the box, you take out another thing, you move the box and you look at that and you be with that. It's not about doing it all at once. That's overwhelming. It's unrealistic. But it is about entering in. It is about taking the time to be alone so that we can understand ourselves and who we are in the world, who we are in relation to others. And some people might have a hard time. It might be a switch, depending on the dynamics and the people in your lives, to say, hey, I'm now going to do X, Y, and Z for myself alone. Maybe they have a reaction to that. That's fine. You can't control that. But you can stay grounded in what's true for you. And anyone who loves and supports you will support your time alone to do what you need to do to be great from the inside out. So again, today on the mat, I invite you to spend time alone, to be in the best company with yourself. And if yourself is not yet the best company, have compassion. Hang out more with yourself and heal those things so that you become the best company to yourself. No one is more deserving. No one is more deserving.